Enemy MOAB incoming.
Hey guys and girls, how you all doing? It's Kirsty, or FFTK as usual, with another gameplay commentary, and this will just be a bit of a double MOAB gameplay in 6v6 kill confirmed, which I thought was just a little bit unique, mainly for the fact that it is in 6v6 and not ground war, and in my particular case I've had so many of these gameplays fall one or two short off that double MOAB, for the main reason of people collecting the tags, which of course is what you're meant to do, so I can't really complain that much. But this was just one of those lobbies that was sort of that magical combination of my own teammates versus enemies that did really just make this a little bit more possible. You would notice that yes, of course, the enemies aren't very good, as you would notice that the general sort of stars in these sort of gameplays are players that aren't that good. And I'm not saying that you can't MOAB good players, it just tends to be a little bit more of a slower process, where you do need to think a little bit more about what you do and the decisions you make, and it's just a little bit more of a defensive gameplay than these gameplays that you do see versus noobs. And that is part of the entertainment value, honestly. Just because these run around like a chicken without your head on sort of gameplays aren't the sort of thing that you can very easily achieve against a quite decent team, especially a team that are working quite well together, and in particular a team who are more focused on being defensive little bitches, for lack of a better word. What do you know, defensive little bitches? If you looked in the dictionary you would probably find that dude's picture. Lucky though, like most of these defensive little bitches, they do have pretty bad reflexes. But I will admit though guys, they are probably my worst enemy, and they are the one thing that comes between me giving you guys awesome gameplays more often. Because you guys might think I do get a lot of MOABs, but oh hey, you got no idea compared to how many fails I get. Because you would notice that I do tend to run around almost like a crazy sort of woman, although look, there is actually a method to my madness. I do actually know what I'm running at, or well, what I'm hoping to be running at. So it's not quite as crazy if you are actually in my head, but I don't really think we want to go there. It's probably not as exciting as what some of you guys might actually think. But back to my point, which is these sort of entertaining, more rush-happy gameplays, and just with the way that your standard Call of Duty player plays, are far more difficult to obtain, especially when you play solo, like I do most of the time. Just, I don't know, I find a lot of more solo gameplays should just be a little bit more exciting. You know, it more is a every man for themselves sort of setup, because you never know what sort of teammates you're going to get. And generally, the way it tends to work is that you're going to end up with the worst teammates. So back to these sort of fast-paced gameplays, well, MOAB gameplays, because it does really bring me to my main point for this commentary. And it's actually got me thinking a little bit recently. And let me know how you guys feel about this in the comments. But in my opinion, it really seems a little bit lately, especially lately anyway, as if Modern Warfare 3 has really killed the YouTube community. I've found even since the game's release, it really has segregated the community, mostly into two groups, or in a couple of ways. In one way, it's two groups, either those that hate the game and those that don't hate the game. And the way it has segregated the YouTube community is pretty much into two groups, which is those who can get MOABs and those who can't. So when the game first came out, everyone was right into watching these MOAB videos, these quick MOABs, these MOABs with strange guns, all of that sort of thing, and a whole lot of people really built their channel around that. And me, honestly, I'm one of them. I am primarily a specialist player, so I have pretty much built my channel around MOAB gameplays too. But all of these months into the game, quite frankly, MOAB videos seem to be getting a little bit boring, not just to me, but to everyone at large. And honestly, part of that is probably because we've been spoilt with some of these gameplays from really awesome YouTubers, these awesome triple, quad, penta MOABs, all of this sort of ridiculous stuff, you know, 40, 50-second MOABs. And it really has segregated the YouTube community even further. And it is really sad that it has gotten the way it has. But I'll just let you guys know now, because I'm sure not all of you guys make YouTube videos, but for some reason, if you have a video and it has the word MOAB in it, or 100 plus, it's guaranteed going to get quite a lot more views than, say, your average, I don't know, domination, kill confirm, team deathmatch game, where someone uses the regular sort of assault kill streaks. And I'm not really sure why they did. How tongue-tied am I, hey? Let's start that again. And I'm really not sure why that is, especially when you consider that most of these MOAB videos do go down the same way. There is a pretty particular recipe when it comes to getting MOABs that will achieve you more MOABs than any other sort of recipe, which is, you know, the typical stick to the outsides of the map, flank, get into enemy spawns, get into gunfights where you're always going to have the advantage, all of that sort of thing. But it really doesn't involve the same level of risk taking that the sort of gameplays that we got more used to in previous Call of Duties. And I don't know, guys, you tell me what you think. If these sort of MOAB gameplays have almost killed the community on YouTube. And I did just explain my sort of reasons behind it, and it would sort of be interesting just to know what you guys actually think as viewers, because I do look at this a little bit differently as someone who makes videos on YouTube, because of course, especially after doing this for 6 months or so and making 100 or so videos, I do actually expect that each video I post will get a certain number of views, which you just can't really be that sure of unless it has some ridiculous double, triple, blah 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 MOAB in the title these days. Anyway guys, it was great sharing these thoughts with you. Feel free to like the video if you've enjoyed it, that really helps me out heaps, and I'll talk to you all soon.
We transform garbage into art.